Welcome, everyone, and good morning. This is a beautiful day. We have a wonderful guest speaker here with us today. Thank you all for joining. And I know I haven't met you all before, but it's a pleasure. And I want to welcome you, especially our first timers, to our series of coffee chats. My name is Joan Kobina. I am the Director of Services here at Visiting Angels. And today we have a wonderful presentation from Jim Bland, a specialist in this area. But before I go on to Jim, I would like to share that Visiting Angels, for some of you may not be aware, is an expert in home care. We have 4 offices in the area in Silver Spring, DC, Edgewater, and Gaithersburg. We help our clients find peace of mind. And what do I mean by that? We provide services that help their loved ones or they themselves live in the comfort of their home for as long as possible. And with trusted partners like Jim Bland of Senior Home Services, we can do that even better. So I'm not going to spend too much time about visiting angels, but I also like you to know that we help with activities of daily living, such as assistance with bathing, dressing, toileting, meal preparation, light housekeeping, laundry. We accompany to doctor's appointments, provide companionship, all those things that help you or your loved one remain in the comfort of their home. So at this time, I would like to tell us a little bit about Jim and permit me to read his bio. So Jim is the president of Seniors Home Services, Inc., a company providing various types of home accessibility modifications, equipment, and technology that make homes senior friendly, enabling seniors to remain in their homes for as long as possible and as safely as possible. He became impassioned with aging in place market as a result of being a primary care provider for his father, as well as for an elderly neighbor, each of whom lived at home alone. Jim witnessed the challenges each encountered and experienced firsthand the worries and the stress that so many adult children endure having a parent living at home by themselves. Jim and his company are dedicated to providing seniors and their families the education, products, services needed to be comfortable and safe at home for as long as possible, while providing peace of mind for family members. So you can see why Jim's company and Jim himself are a good resource for visiting angels. And that's why we are so honored to have Jim with us here today. Before I pass over to Jim, I would like to remind us that if you want to take notes, please feel free, okay? But we're going to send you a recording. We have our expert, digital expert in the background, who is going to send you a recording in a couple of days, a day or so, or 2 days, with the, with the on the coffee chat. So please take notes if you want, but don't feel like you missed something. And also, we're going to have some few minutes left for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please hold them as much as possible. And those of you on Facebook, you can also ask questions, or feel free to use the chat feature on the Zoom link, okay, on the Zoom screen. So without much further ado, I would like to pass on to Jim Bland. Thank you.
Jen, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and hit my screen share. And if I could just get a check to make sure that the presentation is showing up as it should. Are you seeing the presentation making a home senior friendly? That's showing up okay?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. And what we want to talk about today is making a home senior friendly, but at the same time, maintaining increasing value and marketability. There are some people that believe that, gosh, I'm going to go ahead and have to do all these ADA things to my home, and it's going to decrease marketability. It's not going to be as attractive. And today, we don't have to worry about that because we have something that's called universal design. So when we're doing designs for kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, whatever it may be, There are a lot of things that can be done that make the home appealing to anybody who would be purchasing it in the future. As we get started, and give you a little bit of background on, let's see what, there we go. As Joan stated, I'm president of Seniors Home Services. We're headquartered in Annapolis, Maryland, and we provide services nationwide in any major metropolitan area. I'm a certified aging in place specialist through the National Association of Home Builders. I'm also an executive council member of Homes Renewed Coalition, which is a phenomenal organization that is legislatively pushing through legislation that will actually give tremendous tax benefits for people making accessibility modifications to their homes. And I'm also a member of the VGM Live at Home Home Accessibility Specialist. So very pleased to be heavily ingrained in this market. And really, when we look at it, what we want to do, we want to make homes senior friendly. And in doing that, we want to look at today through this presentation. I've got about 7 or 8 slides that are going to walk us through the various things to do to make a home senior friendly, to where it will give somebody the ability to have great mobility throughout the home, in and out of the home, be safe in the home from falling. Falling is the absolute #1 thing that will take away someone's independence, cause them not to be able to live in their home. So we want to look at that, kind of on a step-by-step basis as to what takes place there. So in doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start at the entryway, coming into the home. And in so many cases, we've got steps to deal with. And in doing that, there are going to be some seniors that are going to be okay climbing up the steps. It actually can be very good exercise for them, whether it's on the side of the home over here or whether it's in the front. But one of the things we want to make sure of as we're doing that is that these steps are non-slippery and that we've got good, strong railings to support them. So there's some very good products. One here that we use frequently, Slip Doctors. It's a great product. You can put it on the steps. It is transparent, so you cannot tell that anything has been applied. It doesn't aesthetically hurt the home at all, but when it's wet and things like that, it's going to prevent somebody from slipping, falling, whatever it may be with that. There are other cases where we have to go with maybe a ramp that needs to be for someone in a wheelchair. In doing that, there's a couple different ways. There's temporary ramps that can be installed. And then you can also have, as you see in the bottom left corner here, some very attractively done permanent ramps. The issue, though, with ramps is that they can take up a lot of space. The guidelines are that for every inch of height that we are going up, we have to have a foot of linear. So some of the ramps can get very long, and in some cases they will be an option. In some cases they won't. And when they're not an option, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, we can put in what's called a vertical platform lift, or a VPL, as people refer to them. And this works very, very well for someone being able to roll in, push a button, roll, go right up, and then have access into the home without an issue. Another thing that's really, really important is exterior lighting. As we get older, our eyesight changes, and seniors, when they get into the upper ages, the eyesight really does change. And what changes is perception, depth perception, shadowing can really cause some issues there. So it's really important to go ahead and have really good exterior lighting, and preferably the lighting that's going to be motion detected. So we always know whenever someone's coming home, and whatever it may be, there's going to be lighting. It's also, they really like that type of motion detection too, that if there's a visitor coming, boom, they're alerted that there's activity outside, and the lights coming on, and those type of things. So once we start moving into the home itself, with our next slide, we'll go ahead and move as well. There we go. I want to talk about flooring. Flooring is absolutely critically important. And when you go into a lot of homes, as maybe with some elderly, you'll see this flooring that's got some creasing in it. The carpet has become loose. This is an absolute hazard that will cause a senior to trip. And the other issues that we deal with are slipping. If somebody is on a hardwood floor like this becomes very problematic. Or if it's a ceramic floor, if it gets wet, that becomes very problematic. So what we want to look at is putting flooring in that's going to be very adaptable to non-slip, normally waterproof, and that is installed in such a manner that it will provide a little bit of cushioning. So in doing that, carpeting in the bedroom can be a good option, or in a hallway can be a good option, but it's very important that it be tightly pulled and that it be a tight weave. And that's to prevent people from tripping, but it's also good for if somebody has a walker or has a wheelchair. Now, some of the flooring that's becoming extremely popular is this laminate or rubber-backed vinyl plank. Now, this is flooring that's waterproof, it's slip-resistant, installs very easily. And what's nice about it, you can cover a hardwood floor with this flooring, and it's not going to hurt the hardwoods because it's a floating floor, meaning that it doesn't have nails that are going into the hardwood or doesn't have adhesive going into it. So what I recommend people do, take pictures of the home with the beautiful hardwoods, go ahead and get the plank over top of it. And when it's time to sell the home, the new buyer may want to go ahead and have the plank left, or they know if they want to, they can easily remove the plank and they've got the beautiful hardwoods underneath of it. So, we're maintaining value in doing that. A very important component, as you can see in this middle photo, is some rubber backing that is on the back of the planking. This provides a couple of things. It is very good for noise dampening, but it provides a bit of cushioning. So if a senior does take a fall and they hit this hardwood, it's going to be a devastating experience from a standpoint of potentially breaking a hip, an arm, shoulder, knee, whatever it may be. This is going to help cushion that fall a little bit. And there's also, as you can see on the right side here, there's additional cushioning that can be put behind it as well. So we want to go ahead and have flooring that's going to prevent a fall, but we want to have flooring that's also, if a fall does take place, is going to go ahead and provide as much cushioning as possible to prevent something from getting broken. As we go on through the home, the next portion we get into is the bathroom. And I can't talk enough about how important it is to address the bathroom. 80% of all falls occur in the bathroom. And those falls occur one of three ways normally. One is they will fall off of the toilet. Two, they will slip on an inadequate floor that gets wet. And three, they fall getting in and out of an old climb-in tub. So the three things that we really look at there is get that tub out and put in a beautiful walk-in shower that's going to be very easy for access. These showers can have a barrier-free entrance that a wheelchair can be used to get in and out of, or as you see in this one, can have a bit of a lip, but they have all the different grab bars they need. They've got seating, non-slip flooring, or the shower pan. And what's also great, in talking with seniors about having this done, it changes the experience. So, a lot of times when you're talking to seniors about, well, you can't climb in and out of the tub anymore, we need to put in a walk-in shower, you maybe get some pushback. No, I'm okay. Well, if you approach it from the standpoint that we're going to go ahead and make your shower the wonderful experience it should be, it's going to be one of the better parts of your day because you're going to have a beautiful walk-in area. You've got a nice seat. You're going to have a shower wand that can do some invigorating, those type of things. And the same thing with a walk-in tub. Those are great options as well. But we find that in most cases, the walk-in shower is better than a walk-in tub because The walk-in shower will increase the marketability and value of the home. In using colors, you want to keep it kind of neutral so it appeals to everybody. But normally you can get your money back out of the home when you put in a walk-in shower. Next is flooring. As you can see in the middle photograph, making sure that that flooring is the non-slip, going to have some cushioning to it, going to be waterproof. And then where the toilet area is. A traditional toilet, normally the old style is about 15 inches tall. Today, that really should be raised to about 17 inches, maybe 18 inches, and should also have adequate flip down bars on either side, which can really make a huge difference from getting on, getting off, stability on either side. And then when we look at the sink area, this particular setup is to accommodate somebody that may be in a wheelchair. But you can easily go ahead, if it's time to sell the home, put in a little vanity here that's going to cover that and make that look just like it is, but let them know that this is already a set up to accommodate somebody who may need it in the future. And once again, you're going to be increasing marketability, maintaining value, but making the bathroom area as comfortable and safe as it possibly can be. And like I said, this is where 80% of the falls occur. So it's very important that we address that.
I'd like to chime in right there, Jim, if you don't mind. And I'm glad you really
Absolutely.
brought this up, because most of the falls that we get reported by our caregivers happen in the bathroom. And you have a situation where a senior is still able to do some for themselves, that they are afraid to go into the bathroom because they don't want to fall. And this can be really disturbing for them. So I'm glad you're showing these options, especially the bathroom, because our caregivers can help with the shower. But if a senior wants to do it themselves, they should be able to. They should feel safe enough to, to go in the bathroom and take a shower. Like you said, it's very refreshing. So I think this is an area that our attendees today should really focus on if they have some questions, because from our experience, most of the falls truly do happen in the bathroom. Thank you.
But Joan, you're so right. And like I said, statistically, 80% of the senior falls do occur in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we also find is that sometimes hygiene can start to slip, and you hit the nail on the head. They don't want to admit that they're afraid to go into the bathroom, and they're afraid to get in and out of that tub. They feel like they're caving in. So when we approach it from the standpoint of communicating with them, like you've earned this, we're going to go ahead and make your bathroom something really special that you can really enjoy the showering experience and be able to walk in and out and those type of things. We find that goes a long way. And what's also nice with any of these modifications we're looking at, there's all types of financing available to be able to have them paid for, whether it be unsecured financing, secured financing, reverse mortgages. We have a whole array of those types of products that make it very, very easy for the senior to go ahead and have these modifications done and to enjoy them.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
As we move forward, the next issue is lighting. And as you'll note, when you go into a lot of homes, the lighting that was installed in homes years ago is nothing like the lighting is today. In many cases, it was very limited and just did not provide adequate coverage. The other side of it is the fact that how seniors' depth perception, eyesight changes and dramatically changes as they start getting older. So it's very, very important to when we're going in and doing an evaluation in a home, to make sure that, particularly on staircases, we've got plenty of light there. Motion activated lights that are going to be at stairs, bathrooms, getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. There should be motion activated lighting in the bedroom and in the bath that's automatically going to come on and off for them. Same with the kitchen. And what's neat today, you can have this type of lighting put in without having to do a lot of electrical work. A lot of these lights, like we're looking at the stair here, they're battery powered. and they can be adhesed right on to the wall. They're motion detected. They are battery powered, so the batteries can be replaced without having to go ahead and do a lot of construction and electrical work and such in the home. So I just I can't stress enough how important the lighting is for brightness, for placement, and making sure that we're avoiding shadowing in doing that as well. And while I'm on that topic, one other thing to really keep an eye on is if you're on the stairwells, if you can put a little bit, and if the senior will allow you to, because you want it to be their idea, a little bit of reflective tape here, whether yellow or possibly red, because it shows them where the end of that threshold is that will help them not end up taking a misstep as it goes through. Next, as we move forward, is the kitchen. And as you guys have probably seen in many cases, the kitchen can be problematic. And one of the biggest problems in the kitchen is clutter. You've got a lifetime of pots and pans and gadgets and everything in the world that's been kept and accumulated by a senior. The fact of the matter is, though, as they're aging and maybe at home alone, or maybe just the two of them, they only use a certain number of pots and pans each day and a certain number of utensils. So it really pays to go ahead and declutter, get rid of as much of that as you can, and have them keep what they're going to use, and avoid what we see in the top left corner here, and try to accomplish what we see in the middle. Keeping it neat, keeping it safe, those type of things. A couple other features, these pull down shelving, as you see in the top right, these are fabulous. And it's where the last thing you want to have in the kitchen is a stool. Absolutely no step stools in the kitchen. That is a recipe for disaster. So if we have these pull down shelves that the senior can easily reach up, it pulls down very, very easily and then snaps right back up into place. That makes a huge difference in quality of life and the non-propensity to have a fall. And then from a safety standpoint, an automatic stove shutoff that would have a timer on it. It's amazing how many times a senior will forget to turn off the oven, turn off the stove, those type of things. So adapting them with some of this type of technology can really make a big difference as well. As we go on to the stairs, in many homes, stairs will become problematic for a senior. And in doing that, there are a lot of different options available today. We have a straight stair lift that is can easily be installed into a home in a matter of hours. On the bottom left, we have some very, very elaborate stair lifts that can be done. These are custom made that can literally come up, go around a complete 180-degree turn. They can be installed in 3-story, 4-story homes. It's pretty amazing what can take place with those. We talked earlier about the platform lift. These platform lifts can be installed interior and exterior, and can be done to where they can be relatively attractive as well. And then well, on the pricey side, but very convenient, are in-home elevators. And in-home elevators today have come a long, long way as far as that they're not as costly as they used to be. They can be attractive, and they can be installed in areas that, in many cases don't require to have an elevator shaft put in, and all those different types of things. So, that's part of doing an evaluation to determine what's going to be best is really looking at, number one, from a budgetary standpoint, number two, the home construction standpoint, and really what the seniors' long-term plans would be in doing that. Air purification. I want to spend a little bit of time here, and this is something that many people do not realize. Air quality for a senior is absolutely critical. And one of the things that people don't realize is, and don't think about, that seniors spend about 90% of their time indoors. They also take about 20,000 breaths per day. And in doing that, they are exposed to a lot of different things. Dust mites, potentially mold, bacteria, viruses, VOCs, which are called volatile organic compounds, the furniture, carpeting, paint, all those types of things emit VOCs. And this type of air quality or lack of thereof has been shown and does exacerbate diabetes, COPD, heart disease, causes strokes, respiratory failure. But two important things, it also will lead to somebody falling and having instability. Because if somebody is having already some compromisation and their lungs aren't working as best as they possibly could, and you've got it being then exasperated by contaminants, they're not as strong and mobile as they could be, and not as sharp as they could be, which can lead to falls and instability. Also, has been now shown to bring on mental illness because of some oxidation with the brain and actually some swelling with the brain. So one of the things that we provide is a solution, which is an air purification system. This is not filtration or those type of things. This is actually something that eliminates all of these different types of problems. It's FDA approved. It's actually used in the NASA space station and in the Cleveland Clinic in their operating rooms. It's very nice. It easily plugs in anywhere in the home. One unit like this will treat about a 3,000 square foot home, and it's portable. So and very affordable. These are a little over $1,000 or so, and really just do a great job of keeping that home as environmentally healthy as it possibly can, to keep the senior as healthy as possible. The last issue that we look at is technology. Security cameras, doors that will automatically open with a touch at the front door, having the ability for the senior to see who is there, to speak with who is there. Solar powered, motion activated security lights, those type of things. And then some really neat technology that is taking place today that really can help. You know, Visiting Angels is just a phenomenal organization. And we talk with a lot of people who use their services. Absolutely is phenomenal. And in many cases, though, someone can't afford to have somebody there 24/7. But, you know, we know 44% of seniors today live at home alone. So, you know, thank God we have someone like Visiting Angels who comes in and does what they do for a senior to improve their quality of life and to make it possible for them to live at home. But when someone's not there with them, there's some great technology today that can do so many things as far as being a person that is able to communicate, a remote care coordinator that can communicate with the senior if an issue comes up. It's nowhere near what a Visiting Angels does, but when they're not there, it can, you know, let us know if an appliance is left on too long. And what this does is provides safety and security for the senior and a lot of peace of mind for family members, knowing that there is somebody keeping tabs on the senior when Visiting Angels is not there with them or are not able to be there with them because the senior, you know, may have a limited budget or whatever that may be. So, Joan, that kind of wraps up the different ways to make a home senior friendly and safe. And I would encourage people, you know, as far as the next step, we provide free estimates on anything and everything that the home would need. Or if you would like just, you know, additional information, we're happy to go ahead and provide that as well. And in doing that, specific recommendations, product demonstration, samples of different materials, free estimates and quotes. And my contact information is at the bottom here, as far as our website, seniorshomeservices.com, my email, jbland@seniorhomeservices.com. And the phone number there is my direct line, that anyone can feel free to call at any time, and I can go ahead and get the process underway as to figuring out what needs to be done, and from best practices to make the home as safe, as healthy as it can possibly be, to provide the best quality of life for the senior for many, many, many years to come.
That is absolutely wonderful. It's amazing how much technology is being used in the home now to help seniors remain safely at home. But Jim, I was hoping you could share with our participants, our audience today, a little bit more about your payment options in terms of if they want to use any of your services or any of the resources you mentioned here. Can you tell us a little bit more? Can you go? I know you touched a little bit about, on your payment options. If you can just delve a little bit more.
Oh, was that on the financing options?
Yes, the financing and
absolutely. Today, there are so many things taking place to be able to help seniors. We have in-house financing with a couple of finance companies that we work with that will go ahead and provide no money down, 100% financing over a 7, 8, 10-year period of time, reasonable interest rates, very, very affordable monthly payments. And it's not actually putting a mortgage on the property or anything like that. So that's always an option. We also, my company is partnered with AAG, which is the American Advisors Group. They're a mortgage company, and they're also a reverse mortgage company. You may have seen the commercials with Tom Selleck. They've got some phenomenal programs that can be traditional mortgages for homes that can provide funds for having different types of modifications made. They also have reverse mortgages, which really work well for paying for the modifications, paying for home care. They work well because, the seniors spent all that time working hard, paying off their home, and they're sitting there with a tremendous asset that if we start looking at, if they were to sell that home and go into a facility where they don't want to be, it's going to cost them in many cases 10 to 11% of their home's value in selling costs. So, that could easily be where $50,000-$60,000 is gone because they sold. And then if they go into a facility, it's going to be costing them in the neighborhood of $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 a month, depending on where they go. So that equity is going to get eaten up real quickly. And we know the senior doesn't want to do that. They want to be able to stay in that home, have somebody like Visiting Angels come in to help them, have the home made comfortable so they can be safe and comfortable. And at the same time, use the equity in that home to pay for those services without having a monthly payment to pay for. And then when the time is right, when something does need to change, at that point, the home would be sold, or whatever ends up taking place with that pays the mortgage off. So there are a lot of different ways that can be done. And we're happy to go ahead and discuss that with anyone and set up an appointment for them. The others there are a number. The state of Maryland has got some grant programs up to about $25,000 that we have access to. They also have financing up to about $25,000. It has to be used for making accessibility modifications, but those we can go ahead and help facilitate as well. And the other thing that's happening, the Medicare is going through a lot of changes right now, and the entire mantra of healthcare today is focusing on providing care to the senior at home,
Yes.
rather than the senior having to be carted off to some doctor's office, hospital, wherever to get treatment. So in doing that, Medicare is going through a lot of changes, and we don't have a lot of the definitives quite yet, but they're going to be paying for things to be done to the home that they didn't used to pay for. We are working very, very closely with a number of organizations, tracking that and staying on top of it. And Joan, we'll make sure as we work together, partnering, that we keep that information flow coming to you and your organization, so you'll be as up to speed on it as well. But a lot of different ways that we can help financially make sure the senior can stay in their homes.
Great. So many options there, because that is, sometimes at the top of our minds, how do we afford this? It's great. But sometimes also when you look at the cost that you may you incur if your loved one is hurt, the hip fracture, the hip replacement, the fall, and sometimes caregivers go to a client's home from Friday, they come in on Monday and they fell in the bathroom. So they've been on the floor for 2 days, So when you think of all those things, you want to do this, but then how can I afford it? So thank you for sharing that such useful information. I see we have some questions here.
I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share. Would you like me to do that, and we can pop back onto live screen?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And
okay, thank you.
We're going to come right over here.
We have a question from Joe, and Joe asks, does Dura Grip work on stone as well as wood?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Dura Grip, the product you showed, the Dura Grip, does it work on stone as well as wood?
Yes, that product works on any type of surface. It's just a matter, we make sure we do the application correctly, and it is an amazing product because you can't tell it's there. So the beauty of that is, once again, from a resale value of the home and in the aesthetics of the home, someone doesn't know that it's been made senior friendly. They just know that if it's snowing outside or raining, that they're not slipping around like they normally would.
Wow, powerful. We have another question from Evelyn. Can the automatic stove shut-off be installed easily by homeowners themselves?
The automatic
stove shut-off.
It depends on which model you get. And there are some that will go ahead and work with the plug. So it's a timer that takes place. There are some that need to be incorporated into the stove. So it really depends on which model. Some do require an electrician. Some actually can be done by a handyman, homeowner type of situation.
Okay, great. And another question, we have this one from Dave. Do you have several websites for identifying all of the great options in lighting, the lighting gear you shared with us?
Yes, we have in our website, we talk about all the different products that we do, which is the seniorshomeservices.com. And there's a contact us on there. So if somebody is interested in a specific type of product, if they'll go ahead and do a request, we'll go ahead and have a complete information package digitally sent out to them that'll show all the different options and also show, where they can directly go out and purchase those as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So you heard it from the expert. Thank you so much, Jim. Let's see if we have any other questions. Let me check with our check on the back, see if we have any other questions. I don't see any others. And I don't see any hands raised. So I think that is wonderful. And again, thank you so much for all who attended. If you have any questions, feel free to call us, to email us. We are 301-355-6578, and we'll be sharing the recording with you all, like I mentioned earlier. And we look forward to seeing you again, having you join us on our next coffee chat. And so please stay tuned. Check your emails. We'll be sending out the invitation probably next week or thereafter. Thank you so much again. And of course, we are visiting Angels, your expert in senior home care. Feel free to reach us at any time. We are 24/7. Thank you all so much. And this has been great. We look forward to working with you all in some capacity, either with Jim or with visiting senior home services or with visiting Angels. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye-bye, everybody. Wonderful seeing
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye, Joan. Great as always.
Yes, sure.